Warriors, welcome to another important video. My friends, lately I've been getting this question of, Dennis, what are some of the most important areas that I need to cover when it comes to my anxiety healing journey? Now, if you've been following me over the last couple of years, you'll know that I'm a big fan of many different kinds of methods and formulas to heal, not to cope, but to heal. You know, I embrace the CBTs, the NLPs, I embrace the imagery work, I embrace all sorts of different methods and formulas to heal anxiety. But today, I want to simplify things a little bit. I want to present to you three very important areas that you want to focus your attention on in order for you to get the most out of your time, your self-care time, okay? What you want to pay attention to is that sometimes all of these or one of them will feel uncomfortable because it's so brand new, okay? Just because you feel uncomfortable doing some of these doesn't mean you should stop doing them, okay? Just a word of notice from me just before I get into this. Number one, you want to focus your attention on exercises and sessions that are connected to regression work, okay? Regression work, more so regression to cause. Now, regression work is basically going back to previous life experiences and resolving them, creating new associations around them, new perceptions around them, therefore creating new beliefs around them, okay? Regression work can come in the form of like talk therapy, which for me it didn't work because talking and logic didn't really get me to a place where I was, you know, guiding the inner child subconscious mind towards new ideas. It just didn't work for me, okay? It may work for other people, but it wouldn't be my first choice in terms of regression work, okay? When we're talking about regress to cause, you want to find a method that regresses you to cause that doesn't overwhelm you or re-traumatize you, okay? If you follow some of the emotional reframing practices in this playlist, you will be safely guided back towards those time periods where you began to believe that life was in fact a fearful place to be. And you can change those. So when it comes to regress to cause work, I normally have two very important components that should go hand in hand with them. One is it should utilize some form of imagery, some kind of imagination work, some kind of visualization work. And number two, it should emphasize the use of the body as well. Okay, some kind of somatic involvement, some kind of somatic engagement along with the imagery is very, very powerful stuff. Okay, so when you're doing regression work, I've found that, you know, utilizing these kinds of imagery exercises with somatic engagement really gets to the core of the subconscious mind, okay? Number two, pattern interruption. Okay, you want to do this like multiple times throughout the day, okay? One of the best pattern interrupt I ever did was cold showers. Like literally, I took my clothes off right away, I hopped in the shower, and I went for a really cold shower for about 10 seconds just to interrupt my patterns. And many times these patterns can be, you know, a certain time of the day, like let's say it's 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. and you do something. You grab that, you know, potato chips from the cabinet, and today you're like, no, I don't want to do that anymore because I know where that's leading me mentally, emotionally, physically, right? So instead of doing that, I take a 10-second really cold shower, break my state, and I get back to what I was doing before. Or thought patterns. I want to stop thinking this way, okay? I want to stop fearing this situation. I want to stop, you know, overemphasizing the idea that my symptoms could be leading to some kind of disease or illness, okay? Pattern interrupt. Pattern interrupt can come in many different forms, and you want to be very, very creative with your pattern interrupt. You know, with my fiance, for example, back in the day when I was suffering from multiple anxiety disorders, if you've read my first and second books, you will know that I asked her to punch me in the shoulder every time she felt like I was going into that anxious state. So there I was even driving and boom, in the shoulder. And of course, you know, you want to be aware when you're driving, right? But it really helped me to go, oh, right, I'm going down that rabbit hole again. I don't want to do that. Thank you so much, right? And to go really extreme, if you've got a partner that you spend a lot of time with, ask your partner to tell you some dirty jokes. The moment where you feel like you're getting anxious or fearful or running those same patterns again. There's so many things that you can do to break your pattern, but it's important that you utilize pattern interrupt when you feel like you're going into that fearful trance again, to get yourself out of that trance and into a new trance, something more neutral, something more pleasant, for example, okay? Thirdly, you want to focus on mental movies and emphasize VAKOG language. Let me explain. Mental movies. You close your eyes and you imagine the best possible scenario at work today. That could be, you know, a very powerful way that you begin your day, for example. Or at the end of the day, you run a mental movie that says, okay, if I could redo this entire day over again before I sleep, I would have liked to see things go this way and then this way and then this way. So you run mental movies of that. Or let's say you're faced with a meeting, right? And you're really anxious about that work meeting. Before the meeting, you create a mental movie of how you want to act, how you want to see things go. People are engaged, they're laughing, they're collaborating with you, all these things. You look relaxed in your mental movies. So run mental movies. Mental movies are very, very important. Although they may not feel like, you know, a very powerful tool in your arsenal, mental movies, without you consciously realizing it, make a lasting difference in terms of what you believe and how you feel, no matter what the situation is. So run mental movies, but run mental movies with some components with them. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory. We're talking about seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and smelling. While you're running your mental movies, what would you like to see happen? While you're running your mental movies, what would you like to hear happen? What would you like to feel happen? What would you like to taste? And what would you like to smell in those mental movies? If you can do this, you are literally tapping in to your subconscious mind, your inner child. So again, focus your attention on regression work, regress to cause, while utilizing some kind of bodily engagement, okay? Secondly, get really, really good at interrupting your old patterns. Get creative. There's no right or wrong way about this. When you feel like you're engaging in a new pattern interrupt and you're like, whoa, it's really hard for me to go back into that old pattern, that old anxious state. Great, keep using that pattern interrupt. And thirdly, run mental movies while engaging in your five senses. My friends, if you utilize these for a set time period, your life is going to change. Never, ever, ever give up on yourself, and never rely on time to heal you. You will heal you. You will be your own healer. So use these three components each and every day, and I promise you, your life will change for the better. You will become more than anxiety.